W.F. Howes presents an unabridged recording of Family Romance by John Strouse, narrated by Susan Ericksen.
Introduction. Early in 2001, I happened to see an exhibition of paintings by John Singer Sargent at the Seattle Art Museum. I was doing some work in Seattle, and finding Sargent there was a welcome surprise. He had made brief appearances in the two biographies I had written. One, of Alice James, the younger sister of William and Henry James, the other, of the financier and art collector J. Pierpont Morgan. My publisher had reproduced part of a Sargent painting, The Breakfast Table, on a paperback edition of Alice James. All these figures, Sargent, Morgan, the Jameses, were Americans who lived transatlantic lives between the 1850s and early 1900s, and their worlds occasionally intersected. Sargent and Henry James were neighbors in London and good friends. The artist's portrait of the writer is a masterpiece. Having published his novel, The Portrait of a Lady, in 1881, James wrote a few years later, "There is no greater work of art than a great portrait," a truth to be constantly taken to heart by a painter holding in his hand the weapon that Mr. Sargent wields. The exhibition in Seattle was called John Singer Sargent, Portraits of the Wertheimer Family. Who were the Wertheimers? According to introductory wall text, the father of the family, Asher, was a London art dealer of German Jewish descent who had commissioned portraits of himself and his wife in 1897 to honor their 25th wedding anniversary. Artist and patron became friends, and over the following decade, Sargent, at the height of his career, painted the couple's 10 children as well, individually and in groups. He did several of the Wertheimer women twice. All 12 portraits were on view in Seattle, along with photographs, a Wertheimer genealogy, and other Sargent paintings and drawings. One photograph showed Sargent and 2 of the Wertheimers paused on a lawn during a game of croquet. Apparently, the artist had open in...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?